You already know what it is. It's your boy Alvin Mays, AMS CEO. You watching my boy with Nolazine.
So tell the world, actually, I'm like, where you from?
So I'm from Mississippi, Gulfport, Mississippi. And I've since relocated. So actually, the past 6 years I've been living in Atlanta, and that's where I'm from. My roots are right there in Mississippi.
Okay. So let's bring it back 20 years plus. So like, how did you get into the I can't get it out. How did you actually get into the world? The promotion, the entertainment world, etc.
No. I mean, I definitely want the story to be told. So AMS, a lot of people think it stands for Alvin Mays Senior, but it actually stands for Artist Management Services of Music and Entertainment. And so when we created the brand, almost 18 years ago, it was focused on artist development. And then we created the actual label where we actually started developing talent. And then along the way, I wanted to create outlets for the talents that I was actually working with. So what we did was created the AMS Music Events, which, from the AMS Music Events, it created the movement for us to be able to go to multiple states, multiple cities, and market and promote. And then we just used the normal marketing and promotions, with our return of investment. So that brought us into radio, TV commercials, which we don't do a lot of now, but you also have the social media platforms. So those are tools that we use for the AMS Music Events. But what we're doing along the way is we're actually marketing talents that we actually work with. You know what I'm saying? So it gave us our own access, because we'll go book talent and then we'll put our artists, on the events, and that helps us move them around, it helps us promote them and keep the brand alive.
So how many artists do you have right now that you're working with?
So right now we're working with 3. We're actually 4, because we just signed an R&B artist out of Atlanta, and
I'm glad you signed, because but R&B is becoming one lost art. So I'd be happy when somebody signs R&B.
But see, the thing is though, it's not really a lost art. It's just not getting, and you can talk to anybody else. It's just not getting the main attraction, because at one point you used to turn the radio and that's all you heard. You know what I'm saying? You go back to the 90s. That's all you heard. Is before hip hop was prevalent. And you can't just deny that hip hop now is the #1 genre in the world. So R&B is still there. It's still R&B lovers. It's still R&B streamers. Me too, man. That's how I came into the whole music industry, was because I used to be in an R&B group, and we actually, ended up getting a record deal, and so that's where my love for music actually
do you
came
still
from.
sing?
I'm retired. My cameraman, he didn't have a chance to hear me sing, so I'll let him. I don't never like to be the judge of me singing. I just say, hey, I sing, and I know how to capture the audience. So,
gotcha. So having one R&B artist, if the media don't really push them anymore, I actually want to be one media company to actually push R&B artists. So do you feel like it's actually hard to actually put one R&B artists on now?
I mean, the thing is, and I always like to be full transparency. Major labels with every individual artist, when it comes to launching a campaign, they're gonna spend $200,000 to $300,000, to push. So when you're an independent artist, you're looking at DSP platform, which is digital, servicing platforms for the digital content, which is upload, people know about DistroKids and etc. And we actually have our own distribution. But when you're looking at 500,000 records being uploaded daily to DSP, it oversaturates the market. So the only ones that actually stand out is the ones that's working, moving, marketing, and keeping their brand alive.
That's what's up.
So you being an actual media outlet, it's becoming the norm, because before it'd be okay, I got to get to 106 in Park. I got to get to that major platform, because that was the media that was on everybody's TVs. But now you got this thing called YouTube, which immediately uploads content to the world. So then you as a media provider can take that content, market and promote it, and it's going to get the same resignation analytics, viewership that YouTube. And then if you get the likeness to, what you're doing, then it's going to grow, it's going to grow your monetization with your platform as well. So it just basically, the power of the internet just, made it to where people can create media opportunities for artists. So if you ask me the question, do I think it's hard? And I don't think it's hard. I just think artists got to get out there and grind,
So tell the world actually, what's one on the average day like for you?
Well, I mean, we've been trying to set this up. I mean, for me, I'm a grinder. So my day for me, it starts off at 5:30 in the morning because I got multiple companies. So I'm on the phone with my accountants. I'm on the phone with my lawyers because I'm into real estate. I'm partner of a child care facility. I got an event space in Atlanta. My touring company. I have an investment company where we actually do mergers. So I'm all over, but I try to keep it concentrated. But my day starts early. I like to be in the bed, early, whether I'm falling asleep or not. But it's kind of like my unwind to the brain, So.
So like I'm like working with multiple artists and things like that. Like, have you ever had to actually turn down one artist? Like
Man, I have inboxes, and it's like it's this thing where you wish you can just help everybody, but you can't. So what I try to do is just prioritize who I'm helping, and because I elaborate with any campaign, you got to have marketing dollars. A lot of times people look at that as money grabs, but you're just trying to be transparent with them because you don't want them to come spend a few dollars and then they feel like their bread has been wasted. So you try to be transparent as to what it's going to actually take. So I give them numbers like 100,000, 200,000. So yeah, when I got campaigns that can afford to move, I try to take those campaigns because that opens doors for the ones who can't. Because they do have a thing called piggyback. If you look the way that Quality Control moved the Migos, the Quality Control label was a full roster, but once they got that one flagship artist, then they was able to float artists like Lil Yachty, City Girls, Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying? Through that machine, but nobody saw when they was on the grind, just trying to get the label, even though they was working with a bunch of artists at the time. They was trying to get the label where it needed to be, but it just took that one international group, rest in peace, to take off. But it took that one international group, and then that allowed the avenues for everybody else because the lane to get into the other side is so small. So when you ask the question, it's not that I don't want to work with people. I try to cheat. I try to take advantage. So if I'm working with the bigger budgets, I'm creating the lane, but that don't mean that I'm not paying attention. So then we go back. That's like I had Peasy, here in New Orleans, and I was telling him, he was actually shocked that I had been a fan for, 7 years of his music. Now the world is just learning his 2 Million Up record, but I've already
been working.
He's been working.
Ice Visa.
Yeah, they've been grinding, but it's guys like me that's out here working, and we see the movement up for the ones that's spending that money because we know what it takes to be in them rooms and be in them cities and move records the way that they doing. So who's spending the money. So you just paying attention. So I took the opportunity with the AMS Music Events to just create a concert. That concert was an opportunity for me to create a relationship as well. And it's always better to create a relationship in the beginning than to wait till somebody's on the other side and then you're trying to create that relationship. Now you look like somebody that's on the jigger train, like y'all say in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? You trying to get on the train because the train is moving. And I just go
jigger train here in New Orleans. That's Baton Rouge.
Oh,
but I'm gonna let the man.
Okay. Well, you know me, man. I
ride the wave ride, different things like that.
I move all over. Baton Rouge, one of my markets too that I love to come and be a part of and bring events and bring my talents and let them network with people in the city, because when they do take off and now I got a co-signer in that city, that's doing relevant stuff that can say, hey man, you know, he brought them through 5 years ago. Y'all just not seeing it pop up now, but AMS brought it through, you know.
So like, you know, like helping artists, like, you know, like most artists ever just thinking if a rap is easier now because, you know, it don't cost that much money how it cost back then. We get the actual press CDs and really campaign. But like some people still have like strong campaigns.
Yeah.
But like a lot of artists just think it's easy. Just download if a distro kid and just upload your music and they just everybody rapping now.
Yeah. So of course we know when we was, you know, seeking and getting our own distribution for AMS, you know, we know about the TuneCores and the distro kids and okay, so once we actually got our own distribution and then we were able to allocate that DSP with, you know, what it takes to launch as far as pitching playlists, you know, creating those email marketing campaigns. Like, it's just a lot of stuff that goes behind just uploading music. Like I just said, when you're talking about 500,000 records being uploaded every day and you're that independent artist that's in your apartment and you thinking all I got to do is just get my music out. Now you got to do more than get your music out. And a lot of people say, well, I don't have $200,000, $300,000. That's not what I'm saying you have to have. I'm telling you that's what you're going to have to spend. Now, how you get it could be over a period of time. So, like, for example, these artists that we talking about, when I say that they've been grinding for 7 years, they spent that over a period of time, but it created the momentum that they needed to get their project and their music to the next level. You know what I mean? So.
Gotcha. So, being in the music business, or entertainment world for over, you know, 15, 20 plus years, I'm like, what do you enjoy most about it? And actually, what do you actually hate about it?
Man, what the one thing that I have enjoyed along the decades of being in the music industry is the people that I've helped. And when I get an inbox and the world don't know that I actually supported this individual, but they're doing major tours or they're part of a huge campaign because of an opportunity that I gave them for traveling on the road. And man, that's the best feeling in the world. I'll never forget when I had my photographer and to watch him be overseas in the UK and he started with me, you know, or you see a DJ that toured with AMS and now he's doing national tours, like, and I don't even got to speak on the names because I didn't do it for characterization. You know what I'm saying? I did it because that's the passion of why I love the music industry, because there's so many people that's got the same passion that I have. So it's like, you may not have that big budget to move around and do the things that you want to do, but if I could just give you that bridge and that opportunity to get exclusive content, you know, be behind the scene or be on the stage or travel, like, and meet people, like, you have to look at where that opportunity is coming from and how you can benefit from it. That's what I love about the music industry. Some things that I hate is overzealous expectations. And what I mean by that is people want that instant gratification. Instant gratification is not rewarding. You know, so you look at me, where I'm at didn't happen. I got a picture of me sitting in my studio and it was a home built studio, and then you see a picture of me now and I got $1 million facility, but it's like you don't know where that came from. So it's like I didn't have that instant gratification, because I remember when I was obtaining my music career, man, and the music, like when you was trying to get to a studio, it was so hard. I remember we recorded my first demo and we went in a dude's closet and he had like an 8-track recorder, but we got the record done. We drove out to California. We got our development deal, $400,000, and I was in the music industry, so I was able to learn a lot of things, you know, as far as grinding and taking what you have and just being, you know, prevalent as far as how you pushing it, you know, how you pushing yourself. So a lot of times what I do hate is expectations of instant gratification, which means people's sense of entitlement. Like, you're not entitled to nothing. Nobody has to give you nothing. Everything that you gain, you know, should be earned and not given. So, you know, when you have an instant gratification, you know, mentality, you're going to automatically think that something's supposed to be given to you. And you're not looking at, when you see the success of DJ Khaled, you don't know the sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? When you see the success of Russell Simmons or P. Diddy, you don't know the sacrifices. So stop looking at the now and look at the was, and then where I'm at now and where I want to be, and then you just start planning. It might not happen this year. It might not happen next year. You know, I never thought that, well, I'm not going to say never. I planned on when I built AMS for it to be a brand that was recognized, credible, you know, and could hold its own. And when I started it, I didn't start with that type of budget. I wasn't able to go do $100,000 or $250,000 shows when I first started. So my first arena show that I was able to invest $250,000, I was happy. I spent $40,000 in marketing and advertising, and I went out a 500-mile radius. Even if that 500-mile radius didn't come to the concert, it was the opportunity that I had to actually market and promote my brand. And believe it or not, that 500-mile radius did work. People came from all over.
Gotcha. So, tell us actually, what separates AMS from every other company out there?
I mean, the only thing that I can say that separates me from anybody else is my existence and my perseverance to stay in the industry and not give up. So, because people will be like, dang, man, I done spent, you know, $100,000, $200,000. This just ain't for me. I mean, that's just not for you. So what separates me is, although I have AMS, I also have other streams of revenue that continue to support my brand and support my dream. We win on AMS a lot, but we lose a lot. You know, it's just how you play the game. You know, but I don't wake up the next day and look at those losses as losses. I look at those losses as, okay, what do we do when we come into the market? We created this relationship. You know, what else did we do? We marketed and advertised our brand. So, you know, you got to keep building that awareness around, you know. So I came into this Mardi Gras weekend in New Orleans and, you know, dropped a bag. I'm not leaving with a bag, but as far as my presence being in the market, I was able to market and promote to tourists that was here that's taking what we done. Like, I met guys from Houston that actually came to my event last night. That was special to me because I physically handed them a ticket. I met some people from Miami that I physically made a ticket, and they came to my event. Then I found out the spot that we did the events at, it's not even a normal, like, it's not a spot. So anybody that came to that spot, they came because we promoted them there. It's not like it's not open every night. It's not open every night. So when you could put 500 in a building, you know, and sell 15 sections, that's from your promotions. You know, so that's a win. That's a win to me. You know, it's how and what you determine as a win or a loss. That's a win for me. When I can come into a city, competing against local, and when I say locals, I'm competing against guys that's here every day, every week, and I'm able to draw attraction to what I'm doing. That means I did marketing and promotions, and that's what got my results. That's a win, man. You know, you may not see it in the bank account, but that's a win. Because I got so many new followers. I got people following my music entertainment company. I had some people sharing my flyers from New Orleans. I had people sharing my flyers from Texas. Like, it was dope. That's a win. That's a good feeling.
Gotcha. So tell us, actually, like, what's next for you?
Well, right now, man, we're developing AMS films. You know, one of my first projects, you know, is creating a podcast now brand. And that's my executive assistant on that, my shooter, Juan Films. He's him and my partner G Fields. We created this brand, and we got a super dope host called, you know, her name is Jess. She does our artists. I do AMS CEO Talk, so we're building that podcast era brand. We just finished the first season. We invested in some films, so AMS Films, doing some short stuff right now. So we'll be on Netflix and Tubi and all these independent. We're trying to take advantage of that. Continue to, you know, work with artists and develop. And we're going to 2023 because we kind of took a hiatus from, you know, just the COVID experience. And so now we're coming into 2023, man, we back outside. So I've been telling my team we was going to get on the road. And they're like, yeah, man, we were going to get on the road because you've been stalling us out. We ain't been able to travel, but we traveling now. And when you hit this road, man, it's work. It's work. You know, I'm a different animal when I'm on the road. I'm a worker, you know. So what's next for us, man, is just continue to go up. We don't care how high the peak goes as long as the scale is going up. And that's what we doing, bro.
Gotcha. And last but not least, tell everyone, actually, what can they find you on social media and just everywhere?
Man, you know, I represent 3 letters, man, AMS. So you can find me at AMS Enterprise, AMS Music Events. And then if you can't find the companies, you know, you can always Alvin Mays, ALVINMAYS. But we got websites, we got Instagrams, we got social medias. So AMSmusicevents.com, AMS Enterprise Corp.com. So you know, that's where you can find us and our brand, and you know, and just follow us.
Nolazine, make them scream. NOLAZINE. Make them SCREAM. Scream. Nolazine, make them scream. You heard me.